I don't care.
Alright, see you later.
Alright, see ya. Alright, so we're just hooking up the pressure washer. We're going to use that with the Torque foam gun. You got your chemical guy, Honeydew Snow Foam Auto Wash Soap. I find this Meguiar's wheel and tire works pretty good with, like, as a degreaser. So you spray this on and take like a scrub to your wheel, or not your wheel, your tire. Obviously Rain-X when you're done. Bug release for the grill. And we're gonna be doing a two-step bucket system. So you're gonna have your dirty rinse bucket right here, and this is just a grit guard. Keep all the shit in the bottom. And then you're gonna have your soap bucket, and then when we're done, some kind of tire wet. This is relatively cheap, you can find it at Walmart. I recommend using something better, but this is something that easily accessible, works relatively well. It runs a little bit, so you can spray it on a rag. But yeah, that's a quick wash, and then we're gonna wax it as Matt attempts to fire up the pressure washer that doesn't have any fuel in it. But we're gonna shoot some time lapses here and enjoy. All right, so our first step was obviously turn on the pressure washer, go ahead and pressure wash off the car. This is the only step I don't recommend every single time. I would recommend just taking, just a normal spray, hose to it, and hose off your car, because if you're too close to your paint, number one, with your pressure washer, because that's like a 3,500 psi pressure washer, you're going to damage your paint, and number two, if you have any compounds on here, you're going to completely take it off. So the only time I recommend using a pressure washer is if A, it's super fucking dirty, or B, the fact that you want to rip off whatever is pre-existing on this vehicle, you want to go ahead and redo it. So if you want to repolish it, clay bar it, wax it, whatever you want to do. And we're going to go ahead and wax it today. So we went ahead and, from a safe distance, you pressure wash it off. And some of these bug marks and shit aren't going to come off. You're going to go ahead and take your bug release and spray that off and wipe it in with a microfiber towel. For more context to the two-step bucket method, like I said, here is your rinse bucket, here's your soapy water bucket, your bristle brush for your tire. So you're going to go ahead and spray some of this Meguiar's wheel and tire on here. You're going to soak the whole tire, let it sit. It'll actually lift brown off the tire, and you scrub it in, rinse it off, and then all the tires are treated. I always clean my wheels first, because everything is going to rinse off onto them. So I go ahead and take a good attention to detail to the wheels first, and then you can clean the rest of your car. So that's what we're going to do.
This is Earth Radio.
All right, now this is a lot of product, but I mean, look right here. It's already lifting all the dirt and shit off. And then you're going to go ahead and take the scrub brush that I have already wet, and you can wet it in here as long as you just get new water for your car. So you just wet it in your water, go ahead, take your brush, be careful not to hit the wheel, and brush it in.
Now here's human music.
All right, so just as I had said, guys, go ahead, move it around in here, look at it, make sure it's good. You want to splash it outside the bucket, because anything that you can get out, keep it out of the bucket. So then, as you can see, these have the dirt and everything, the grime lifted off. You're going to go ahead and take your hose on a light setting and just pressure wash it, or well, not pressure wash it, but hose it off. And this is safe on your wheel to use too, because the chemical balance, I believe, in the spray is good. It's just going to lift some of that brake dust up that you're not going to be able to really reach with your wheel cloth. All right, now as Matt's rinsing off the other two wheels, he went ahead and rinsed these off, and as you can see, the sidewall of the tire actually already looks better. And it did lift some grime and dirt off the face of the wheel itself. So as he's rinsing these off, I'm gonna dry a little bit, keep the car wet. Another thing I forgot to say is when you're cleaning these, don't rest your hand up on the vehicle because you haven't cleaned it yet. You're gonna go ahead and scratch your paint. You don't want to do that, so just try to get a good position here to wipe your surface off. So he's gonna keep the surface wet. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this bucket, get new water. We have our wheel mitt in here. We're gonna go ahead and then wash our wheels. All right guys, so we got new water, so we're gonna go ahead and take the red microfiber wheel, scrub, and we're gonna keep these wet once again, but we're just gonna go in real carefully, get inside, make sure that you get behind here. This is one of the most commonly missed spots. Try to get in there as much as you can. I always suggest using your hand for everything that you can, because number one, you can feel where you're at. Number two, I always say that, you know, hands-on is the better way to go. So keep the vehicle wet, and wheels are next. All right, so everything's washed. Go ahead, start rinsing from the top to the bottom. Make sure everything goes down naturally. Gravity will pull everything down. Make sure you get in here. And once again, it's not going to be perfect. Wheels are intricate, but wheels are one of the most things that are missed on a vehicle. The biggest thing is getting all the grime out of the crevices, and I highly suggest pulling your wheels once a year, scrubbing them down really well, and waxing them. It'll keep most of the dirt off, but you're going to accumulate brake dust and stuff from things such as your brakes, obviously. So rinse them off real good and repeat the same thing on the other side. So Matt's finishing up the last wheel, and so the next step is to use the foam cannon from Torque, which is right here. If you guys are unfamiliar with this, you hook this up to your pressure washer and it sprays out like a foam concentrate. Super helpful for keeping stuff super clean all around. Highly suggest it. I think it's like 70 bucks from Chemical Guys, or maybe a little over 70 bucks, but it's totally worth it if you have a pressure washer, and even then you can get cheap pressure washers. So what we're gonna do is hose this whole thing down with suds, wipe it off with our microfiber mitts, and then you're gonna go again and hand wash it. Like I said, I believe in the beginning, this isn't a how-to really, or how you should. This is just how I thoroughly clean your vehicle before you go ahead and apply wax to it, because you want everything off it, because the wax is like a sealer. It's going to seal a lot of that shit in. So that's the next step. All right, now that the car's all soaked, go ahead and take your microfiber towels or wash mitts and just go ahead and give it another soak. All right, so with the car completely foam gunned and hand washed. Go ahead, start from the bottom, or the top, rinse the whole way to the bottom, and get all the lifted dirt and grime that you have on your vehicle. And then next you're gonna just dry it off completely and get ready for wax if that's what you want to do. If you don't feel like waxing, like I said, skip the initial pressure wash. That way you don't lift any previous product off your vehicle. And then dry your vehicle off after this step and you're done. You should have yourself a clean vehicle without having to worry about scratching or hurting any of your paint components. The car almost completely dried off. You're going to want to let this dry completely if you're going to go ahead and wax it. For wheels, I suggest taking a microfiber towel and just brushing them off, or not brushing them off, but drying them up, just because they're more sensitive. And as you should use some kind of soft cloth that's paint friendly. So wait until it's completely dried off. Like, you don't want any of these running marks. So we'll look at these for the next 5 minutes and open up the door jambs and wipe down the door jambs, and we'll get ready to wax. We're just going to start applying this wax. So all we do is obviously by hand, because I don't like using buffers. I like feeling the vehicle. Just don't ever want to burn the paint. So put a little bit on your applicator pad, circular motion, and I'll try to get the right angle right there. You guys can see along this line and up here where he's already applied it, and you'll do it in a circular motion. And I suggest taking just a section at a time and make sure you're doing it well and thoroughly enough, depending on how much wax you want on your vehicle, and then let it dry to like a little bit of a haze. You don't want to let it get too dry. And once it gets to a haze, go ahead, take a microfiber towel and circular motion the wax off, and the results will show for itself. So we're going to go ahead and apply all this, and then we'll give you a shot of the after the results. Alright, so we got the whole vehicle being waxed right now. So start with your first section, and we did this front grille and hood section first. So go ahead, take your microfiber towel like I said. You're gonna go grab circular motions till it's off. Truck, yeah. And then you're good. Car is completely waxed and took the wax off. And I think it looks really good. One of the greatest things is how silky smooth the body is. Alright, so once your wheels are completely dry, you're going to put on your tire applicator, which is your tire wet. So for this, let me set you guys up. Oh gosh, there it is. So safe distance apart. Once again, using this black magic tire wet. A few inches away, just go around to make sure that you get all of it. All right, now you're gonna get some excess on the wheel here. So go ahead and get a microfiber towel and just wipe that excess off. Or if not, it'll just it'll rinse off with the water too. But let that sit on. Or if it's too heavy, go ahead and get a some kind of cloth and wipe it in. And so we're gonna get a cloth and wipe it in. So we got our cloth here, and you're getting some drips. So you're gonna go ahead and lightly drag that. Try to give the tire a nice even tire wet. Another way to do this is just to spray it on here if you really want. I'm not a big fan of that because I like the tire looking as wet as possible. So I always just spray it on, let it sit for a few moments, go ahead and wipe it off, or at least wipe it down. That way it doesn't look like it's soaking wet. And get a little bit on like the inside of your rag here and get your tire lip. That way everything's done evenly. And like I said, take your microfiber and wipe your wheel again. So do this to all 4 tires and your tires are dressed. Alright, so everything on the vehicle is completely clean. We dressed the tires. We're cleaning the inside windshield. We went ahead and cleaned the outside windshield, getting it ready for the Rain-X. All you do with Rain-X is get a cloth, spray it on the cloth, apply it in a circular motion, wait for it to get a gray haze, wipe it off in the same motion, and you're good to go. If you guys found this video helpful, go ahead and drop a like down below. If you guys have any comments or questions, throw them in the comment section below. I'll be sure to try to answer them. And as always, guys, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Thanks.